So we're on game number 1 here on Hungarian plains here between Zyper and Windy. So we've got Zyper spawning here with the Mandarin characters. Well, Windy's up here, top side. So Windy on Indians. And sorry guys, there's a problem with replays where the fucking scroll speed is just ridiculous for some reason. It's not me, it's the game. Oh my goodness. Like, I've already got it on minimum. But watch, even just resetting it to minimum suddenly drops it to minimum. Anyway, so go up with the game. We got Windy in the red trunks Indians. We got Zyper here in the blue trunks Indians. I'd forgotten he was actually Indians as well. We were playing a mirror match for our first game here. Like I said, we're on Hungarian plains. So this is round 1 of the first qualifier for what's going to be the biggest tournament this year for AoE3. Don't know if it was perfectly calculated or if he was a bit lucky there, because that quite dangerous for the Indian monk, letting him get that low to take that treasure. But he's fine. So Windy's just gonna rally back his bison. Wisent. These guys must be playing with a Chinese version of the game, eh? Because that must be translated back to English. I'm imagining. That should just say bison, not Wisent. I'm not sure. I'm assuming both these guys are actually Asian. I think they're both Chinese players. I could be wrong, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, but I could be wrong. Anyway, it's always a slow start to AoE3 supremacy. I'm waiting for him to get up to about 16, 17 villages to age up. Oh wait, that's if they're on Euro civs. Actually, I think it's about the same. So in terms of techs, Zyper has that wood gen. Windy hasn't sent anything just yet,
Hello.
it seems. Ah, here we go. He's getting distributivism as well. So both players are going to make great use of that wood gen. It's pretty much a must get for India, because you've got villages that cost wood, unlike pretty much every other civ in the game, where they generally cost food, and then I think they might cost coin on Dutch, I think. So yeah, pretty much everyone else doesn't have the need for wood that Indians does early on. So both have players gathering a lot of wood because they're going to be able to get, probably going both for the aggro fort here, particularly Windy because his is so forward, but Zyper's probably also a defensive aggro. Behind this, we're probably looking to add the temple building, add the barracks or the stables. Because yeah, aggro fort acts as a barracks, but it's nice to either have a second one or get a stables early on as well. You know, and go for markets, which Zyper's doing. Windy hasn't started a market just yet. Maybe even look at getting control of these trading posts, but that is a 300 wood investment that you've got to try and then hang on to. So neither player going for early trading posts at this stage of the game. So Zyper's already going to start getting his civil servants tech. So this is, I believe this is the general eco upgrade. 5% to all gathering, whether it's food, wood or gold. All the others are just like a 10%, I think. I know the Asian Dynasty civs have a slightly different markup to the rest of the civs in terms of the techs. Overall, I think they're weaker, but the upgrades themselves are really cheap, so it's nice to incrementally step them. You don't have to actually put a lot of thought into it like you do on the other civs, where it's quite a significant cost, particularly getting your second and third round upgrades. Whereas yeah, for your Asian civs, because you've got the generalist upgrade, which sort of tends to pull stats and cost out of the others, you know, it's really nice you can pick the general upgrade and then just get the ones that you actually want relatively cheap. So, Diplomatic Intrigue on the way for Zyper. Windy going for Foreign Logging, which is basically an upgraded version of Distributivism. And together, you're more or less getting like 5 wood per second. No, is it 4 wood per second? Yeah, I think it's 4 wood per second. Just for free, so... Windy getting that now. It's really just going to be generating the wood now. Don't even have to gather a whole lot with his vills. He's mostly going to be gold gathering and hunting. He's got that aggro. He's going for Gurkhas. So we'll outrange the Sepoys. Or Zyper. He's going for Sepoys. And he's taken the Diplomatic card. So he's going to actually be able to... Oh yeah, here we go. Home cities are actually working now in this version. Nice. I can actually read them. Diplomatic Intrigue. So he gets really cheap relations. I think it's going to cost 25 instead of 100, and then I believe it's faster. And then, you know, you get shipped 300 exports. So you can essentially forward your first consulate shipment straight off the bat. And, you know, having the consulate so you can always flick straight over to improve consulate gather. He's going Ottoman. Windy for now, just massing up the Gurkhas. Gonna add a sepoy. The Gurkhas essentially are the skirmisher, while the sepoys, the musketeer. So, what that means is, Windy for now has a slight upper hand should they take an engagement, but I can imagine Zyper's not going to look at moving out to get some Gurkhas of his own. Or he gets whatever he's intending to get here out of the consulate. He's actually going to send 4 settlers, and then I think maybe end relations. Just sort of rely on the boom that this gives him. Because he's getting these 4 settlers while he's actually still training vills. So essentially he's turned Diplomatic Intrigue into a 4 settler card for a civ that I don't think actually gets one. Some of the tips and tricks the advanced players will take advantage of in their builds. All these Brahmins being used to tank for now, rather than going down there for Zyper, but he's keeping everything pretty much safe. Not he intended to move out with that sepoy to get vision, or it's just throwing him away there. And so Zyper, 31 vills. Windy's on 25 at the moment. But Windy is going to get a trading post. And now he's in a position where he can also follow up with, yeah, either chest a 300 coin and go for the quick fort transition, or go for Diplomatic Intrigue and try and catch up with the vills. Add a consulate of his own, actually. So he may look at going for an aggressive Diplomatic Intrigue route here. So Windy's shipping the gold. But now Zyper chilling adding the Taj Mahal. He's already got the resources he needs to go to Fortress Age here. He's going to be able to use that ceasefire ability out of the, I was going to say landmark, but they're actually called wonders in this game. Not to be confused with the wonders that actually end the game, which I don't know if AoE3 actually has, unlike every other game in the series. It's pretty cool how the Euro houses you actually can use these for vision. They're like a Zelnaga tower from StarCraft almost. On top of their usual function as like a native site. What are the build limits on these things? Missed it. Oh, he's also allied with Ottomans there. They still have 5-vil lead here for Zyper, and his age up is a little bit quicker. And he's just sort of patrolling the map for the minute. He's got that trading post. A bit of a passive one. Don't really see much of an engagement from other players. I suppose that's the threat of the aggros. Especially if one player places one defensively, there's not really a chance to engage. I mean, with the Taj Mahal, Zyper can always force Windy to back out, at least temporarily. Windy's going for a different landmark. So the Charminar Gate. So you can train Mansabdar versions of his units here. On top of that, he gets a Mahout shipped. It's even a fast industrial age here. Charminar Gate going down here for Zyper at the moment. It's been a very quick age up game, this one. It's interesting. Because a lot of the mirrors, it's very, very rushy. Or can be. Neither of these players wanting to make a mistake here, both just really playing it carefully. Oh guys, it's been 10 minutes and there's been no action. What's going on? So Fortress Age, gonna finish up for Zyper. Windy, I don't know if he's bothering to save for it, if he's just massing up an army for the minute. So the Stancy, so these guys are the Ottoman support hussars. Quite a fair bit tankier than regular hussars, I think. So very handy consulate unit there for Zyper, but he's not really looking to throw them away by any means. He doesn't want to lose them if he can help it, because if you can get them sitting on top of some Vils, but for now, just bringing them back home, doesn't want to waste them. But if you can get them on top of some eco, which Windy's not really going to give him the chance to until Windy's comfortable to take a fight here, I think. So Windy's now going to Fortress. And yeah, we've seen basically one unit die. And a bit of tanking by some shipped hussars. Sorry, consulate hussars. And now just with the army because these Brahmin can heal. Got a Rumi added to the army here for Zyper. So these guys are like an improved version of the Rajput swordsman that the Indians get, except they do area damage and regenerate. and you can only ship them. Zyper having to wander around the treasure there. Windy's not wanting to overextend. He's going to force his opponent to at least try and tank some aggro damage and focus it down first. And if these Mahouts don't get to engage on the Gurkhas, it can be really rough for Zyper, even though Windy looks to be the one backing up right now. But both those Mahouts going down, and not to mention that Windy's aggro is alive and well, and he's continuing just to kite his opponent back. Tower of Victory. We're gonna give his units a bit of a boost, should he choose to use it. He's actually popped the tech just yet. Zyper's pushing really well here now. He's picked up both the Ramen here for Windy. There's not a lot left to tank for these Gurkha, but there is a Manzabdar in the mix, so he is going to slightly buff them all. He's now going to be able to assist and pick off the Stancy. Regulars being called out and sentries. So it's looking a little bit rough here for Windy, but at the same time, Zyper's having to retreat through his opponent's base with his whole army for the minute. He's having to come forward with a lot of his eco. So Zyper needs to be careful he's not losing too much, that he can take out this aggro, so that he can relieve a bit of pressure on this hunt here for his Wisents. It's a good stun there, but will it be enough? And it looks like Windy may have broken Zyper here. He's got nothing really to front line at all for his infantry now, and there's plenty of these Arumi in the mix for Windy now. Well, there's none left for Zyper, so things are looking a bit dire for him. If he can't pick them all off now, it's going to be very hard for him to protect all these villages. Their splash damage going to make it really mission critical to get out of there before he even can attack you. Now Zyper going to take this awkward hunt still quite away from his base. And he's not really able to stay around here and get the gold or that hunt. So yeah, Windy I think is in a really nice spot because that 120 pop, Zyper at 102. So I wonder if we're going to see another wave of Arumi from either of our players actually. Looks like Windy going to go for 9. He's sent 7 I believe. So now he's got 14 out in the field. Zyper is 9 out in the field. And I believe his Mansabdo Arumi is already dead. While Windy hasn't actually sent his just... Oh no, he has sent it. So he must have fallen in that fight. So there is a bit of a Arumi advantage for Windy, but at the same time, Windy doesn't have a Mansabdar over him, so it's not going to be completely do or die, but it's going to be a little bit rough. Ending relations now for Windy. Haven't really kept a good eye on whether or not Zyper's stayed with the... oh yeah, he's ended them. They're not friends anymore. Wonder who they're going to transition to. So Windy up to 160 pop, Zyper at 140. And Windy has managed to go for a second town center behind this. Zyper is only on the 1. A couple of redcoats there on defense. Trying to take an engagement. Really just being used to tank for Zyper right now. And Windy's got a little bit more of them at the moment. Let's see, boys. With the Honored upgrades, but I think there's that slight army count advantage for Windy's going to really come in handy here. There's Zyper going to sneak in another batch of Rumi around the side here. This will be nice for him. Really relieve a bit of pressure, but he hasn't really got any left other than that. And now his range ball has been broken, so I think Windy may have done it here for game number 1, because he's still got an impressive unit count right now. The peril of the Indians in the mirror is that, I suppose, without access to any form of anti-infantry siege, other than elephants, if you will, which are melee, you know, you're generally just going to succumb to the bigger range ball in the end, which is the problem for Zyper in that one.